Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for December 24th, 2025. I'm Adana Doric. Season greetings to our viewers. In the headlines tonight, President Ali reaffirms commitment to vulnerable children at State House Christmas event. Christmas in Morocco. Minister shares humble roots, faith, and family traditions. Christmas kindness brings joy and normalcy to children at Joshua House. Attorney General outlines major legal reforms as government pushes judicial modernization. GRA officials detained as auto tax fraud probe widens. And Christmas, the birth of hope, faith, and redemption. Now for the news in depth. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali and the First Family on Tuesday hosted their annual Christmas luncheon at State House for children from residential homes along the coast, reaffirming the government's commitment to the care, protection, and development of vulnerable children. The event brought together children, caregivers, cabinet members, and staff in a show of national solidarity and seasonal goodwill. Here's more.
The head of state extended Christmas greetings to the children and expressed heartfelt appreciation to caregivers and staff who work daily to support children in residential care. He praised their sacrifices and dedication, noting that their efforts play a critical role in shaping the lives and futures of the nation's children.
But more importantly, it also gives us great joy to say thank you to those who work with our children in the different homes, the caregivers who sacrifice every single day, who put in the hours to ensure that these children are taken care of. And today I want us to give them a big, big round of applause.
President Ali also announced continued government outreach to children's homes nationwide, including plans to ensure all facilities are connected to the Guyana Digital School. He said the initiative, led by the Ministry of Education, aims to improve learning opportunities and ensure children in care are equipped for a fulfilling and productive future.
We want to be able to help to improve your surroundings to ensure that all the homes are connected to the digital school. So the Minister of Education will be visiting the homes to ensure that all the homes and all the children are connected to the Guyana Digital School, because we want you to have the best life ahead of you. And that is what our prayers are, that as we continue to work with the different homes and your caregivers, that you all will have a life ahead of you that is fulfilling, a life ahead of you in which you can accomplish things, and a life ahead of you in which you know that you're valuable, that you're loved. We as a country, we love you, we value you. You are our children. You are the children of Guyana.
The president assured the children that they are valued and loved, describing them as the children of Guyana. He also thanked long-standing partners and volunteers who assisted in making the annual event possible, emphasizing that the Christmas luncheon reflects a shared national responsibility to uplift and protect the country's most vulnerable. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anel Nandlal SC has announced a wide-ranging program of legal and judicial reforms aimed at strengthening accountability, improving efficiency, and modernizing Guyana's justice system. He said the Legal Practitioners Act will be amended to establish a stronger disciplinary regime for errant legal practitioners and judicial officers, while remaining fully aligned with constitutional requirements and principles of accountability and transparency. Calvin Abrams has more.
The Attorney General confirmed the government's full support for the judiciary's strategic plan for 2024 to 2031, which outlines a long-term vision for reform and modernization. He also welcomed the swearing-in of Justice of Appeal Rafiq Khan by President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, describing the appointment as a key step in strengthening the Court of Appeal. He reported that the High Court backlog has been completely eliminated, calling it a major achievement that followed billions of dollars in investment, strategic reforms, and the implementation of new procedural rules. He congratulated the judiciary and all stakeholders involved in clearing a backlog that had burdened the system for decades. While progress has been made in the High Court, the Attorney General acknowledged that a significant backlog remains at the Court of Appeal. He expressed confidence with the increased number of justices of appeal, allowing 3 courts to sit simultaneously. The backlog can be reduced rapidly through a concerted effort.
Because digitization And moving the judiciary into the digital age is crucial to bringing greater efficiency and accountability. And I'll speak about accountability later. So the president said that the government will continue to support the judiciary as it moves into this new age of information, technology, and digitization. In this regard, we have case management systems that the judiciary has purchased of international characterization.
Nandlal said the government intends to apply the same focused approach to the magistrates' court, with the goal of creating one of the most advanced and modern justice systems in the region. He added that an efficient judicial system has far-reaching benefits and can help resolve many national challenges. The Attorney General explained that his chambers are working closely with the judiciary to review civil procedural rules, draft new rules, and amend key legislation, including the High Court Act and the Court of Appeal Act. Among the proposals under consideration is the amendment to allow the Registrar of the Supreme Court to exercise limited judicial functions in contested matters, a practice already adopted in several Commonwealth jurisdictions, including England.
We are doing all of this simply because we want a system that works. We want a system that delivers justice in a uniform fashion, consistent with law, based upon evidence and not upon the whim and fancy of judicial officers, not based upon preconceived concepts, not based upon prejudices and biases, but based upon objectivity and the law.
Looking ahead to 2026, the Attorney General identified several pieces of crucial legislation that will be brought forward as part of an ongoing modernization of the legal sector. Chief among them is a new Evidence Act to replace Ghana's current law, which dates back to the United Kingdom's 1893 Evidence Act. He said the existing legislation is outdated and incompatible with a modern, digitized society where information is stored and processed electronically. A comprehensive and modern Evidence Act based on the Australian model is currently in draft form and will be taken to Cabinet before being released for public consultation. Similar legislation, he noted, has already been enacted in Barbados and other Caribbean countries. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Ghana Power and Light Inc. (GPL) has initiated illegal proceedings against contractors following two separate incidents that damaged its electrical network and caused service disruptions. In one case, an excavator owned by Mohammed Construction Services struck electrical infrastructure in Grove, leading to outages. The operator was arrested, charged, and placed on bail. In other incident, excavation works by Singh and Sons Contracting Limited in Newton, South Romwell compromised a utility pole, also resulting in service interruptions. That matter remains under investigation. GPL warns that unauthorized excavation near power infrastructure poses serious safety risk and reminds contractors that prior approval and coordination with the utility are mandatory. The company says it will continue to pursue legal actions against anyone who damages its network. The Georgetown mayor says the city council cannot move forward on outstanding financial and reconciliation matters until auditors complete their review. Speaking during a recent statutory council meeting, Mayor Alfred Mentor stressed that the process must follow the law and that administrative officers will not be instructed to act unlawfully. More in this Colin Abrams report.
The issue arose during discussions on whether the City Council could revisit a reconciliation process linked to alleged outstanding indebtedness. The mayor made it clear that while the matter has been discussed previously, the Council must wait on the auditor's findings before taking any further steps. At a recent statutory meeting, the mayor explained that the auditors are currently examining the matter and are best positioned to determine whether any outstanding debt exists.
A letter to that effect speaks to an open evaluation of the process. It's a case where we still have to get our stuff back and you still have to hear from the auditors as to where we sit on this issue.
The mayor also addressed concerns raised by councillors about a previous court ruling, clarifying that the court did not make detailed financial determinations. He emphasized that the council must not pressure administrative officers to act outside the law while the audit is ongoing.
It's not any financial business. The court, so the only way, I hear you in relation to this, the court will rule based on information provided, information challenge and that kind of thing. They never got to this stage. All right? And that's what I'm saying. The auditors who are doing their job and who are doing the micro processing of this thing, they'll be able to determine those kind of things. The court, that's not the court's job. This is the auditor's job. All right?
The mayor ruled that no further action must be taken until the auditors return the necessary information and provide their formal opinion.
That we await the auditor's opinion, and also the other aspect of it is that these information that the auditors have has to come back to TC, has to come back to the treasurer for her to be able to look at it in order for us to be able to. But it also, this process also hinges on the auditor's opinion as well as the information that is provided to the auditor comes back to us so that we could be able to get this process moving forward. All right?
The mayor said once the audit is complete and reviewed, the city council will then determine whether further action is required. Colin Abrams, TV9 News.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamahar Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008-600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE, apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the required original source documents: birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Sunday, January 18, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027-8-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. During the Christmas season, Joshua House Children's Center in South Cummings-Burg, Georgetown, is once again feeling the impact of community generosity as public donations and visits bring joy and normalcy to children living in institutional care. The home, which has served vulnerable children for decades and is supported largely through public and corporate partnerships, continue to rely on community goodwill to make the festive season meaningful for its young residents.
According to the home's administrator, Susan Ricard, public support plays a crucial role during Christmas. Community members and organizations regularly visit the home, bringing toys, meals, and gifts, while also taking the children out to dinner and the movies. Simple acts that help the children feel included and valued during the holidays.
We can't complain with the public because the member of the public have been tremendous in their helps. Whether taking the kids to dinner, whether giving toys, whether movies and so forth, we cannot complain. The public has been great in supporting the kids with Christmas.
Ricard noted that the Christmas season often brings noticeable positive changes in the children's behavior. As gifts arrive and visits increase, the children become happier and calmer, with fewer behavioral challenges. For many of them, Christmas represents excitement, decorations, and the joy of receiving experiences that mirror those of children living in traditional family settings.
And Christmas means the toys coming in, the decoration, and with Christmas, children are always happy when there's something coming for them. They see the Christmas as my time to receive all the presents.
Joshua House Children's Center, established in the 1970s, provides vulnerable children aged 5 to 18 countrywide with shelter, meals, clothing, education, moral guidance, and life skills to prepare them for independent living. Over the years, Christmas traditions, including music, carols, and donor visits, have strengthened the home's community connections and open doors approach. As the festive season continues, administrators say the greatest gift the children receive is not just toys, but the reassurance that they are remembered, loved, and supported. With continued public involvement, Joshua House hopes to keep the spirit of Christmas alive, one act of kindness at a time. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Minister of Armenian Affairs Honorable Sarah Brown Shadiq is sharing a deeply personal reflection on Christmas, highlighting how the season has evolved from her humble childhood in Moruca Region 1 to her life today as a mother and national leader. The minister recounted how faith, family, and community shaped her earliest Christmas memories, offering a human interest look at traditions rooted in the hinterland and why those experiences still guide her values today. Here is more Faith Sandy.
Growing up in Maruka, Christmas was defined by devotion and discipline, with the entire community committed to attending every Christmas novena. Despite the physical challenges, she said attending each novena was a source of pride and togetherness, reinforcing the central role of faith in shaping her childhood Christmas experience.
Over the past years, it would have varied depending on where I was for Christmas. But for me, Christmas has always been at home in Moruca. It was kind of maybe different from the rest of the country, given that most of us were Catholics. And it was a big deal for us to attend all of the Christmas novenas. And so, growing up, it was good because we would leave home at maybe like 4 in the morning. We would paddle to get to church. And normally, when day cleans, we would normally be in church. And it was a big deal to make every single novena. And, moving from there towards being a teenager, it was different because Christmas would normally be when there was a big football tournament. There still is in my village. And all of us would prepare for those big games, which I, of course, was a footballer. So we used to look forward to that competition. And moving on from the teenage years, as I said, now it's different with the children. We have moved to another time. So now that I have kids, it's kind of a bit different because it's all centered around making my children happy and, whatever makes kids happy, spending time with them on Christmas Day, ensuring that they all have their toys, and of course the food and the little social activity to go with it in the yard or with other family members.
As she entered her teenage years, Christmas traditions shifted to include community celebrations, particularly the village's annual football tournament. She noted that while resources were limited, creativity and pride prevailed, from meticulously cleaning homes to handmade paper decorations and the shared enjoyment of traditional foods like pepper pot.
Even though our house wasn't the best, we ensured it was spick and span. All of the weeds would have been removed from the yard. And the decorations were oftentimes we used to make our own decoration from the craft with the paper. We would color and then link it to make the chain and then use that to decorate our tree. Wherever you are, we're all Guyanese, and Christmas is known for pepper pot, and given that it's an Amerindian dish as well, we would have had that at Christmas time.
Minister Brown Shadiq says Christmas has taken on new meaning, centered on making her children happy and spending quality time with family. She says her upbringing in the hinterland continues to influence how she values simplicity, togetherness, and gratitude, reminding Guyanese that regardless of where they come from, Christmas remains a time for unity, reflection, and shared traditions. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Police are investigating a major car tax evasion scheme involving several GRA customs and licensing officers in a prominent auto dealership. Authorities allege fraudulent declarations were used to undervalue luxury vehicles, costing the state of hundreds of millions of dollars. The probe is linked to cases against businessman Azadin Mohammed, including alleged vehicle undervaluation and a wider U.S.-led investigation into gold smuggling and tax evasion. Further charges are expected as investigations continue. Sources say several GRA officials have been detained for questioning, while investigators examine import records and financial transactions connected to the dealership. Authorities have signaled that the investigation could expand to include additional individuals and businesses as efforts intensify to recover lost state revenues. More news after the break.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025, and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Channel 9 is now Guide TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guide TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 building.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025, and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE, apply for a transfer if you have changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the required original source documents: birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate, or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Sunday, January 18, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027-8-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Tourism, Industry and Commerce Minister Susan Rodriguez has reaffirmed President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali's vision for Ghana's next phase of development, stressing that growth must be inclusive, diversified, and firmly centered on people. Speaking during a live broadcast following the president's national address, Rodriguez said the message to Guyanese was unmistakable. The country's transformation over the next 5 years will only succeed if every citizen is included and empowered to participate.
Every Guyanese, regardless of your background, your ethnicity, your stature in society, all Guyanese, your religion have to be a part of Guyana's development.
Rodriguez urged citizens to pay close attention to the president's outlined plans, noting that the clarity of the vision allows individuals, families, and businesses to position themselves for the opportunities that will emerge as the economy continues to expand. She explained that inclusivity is not being treated as a slogan, but as a guiding principle shaping the government policy, investment, and national priorities. According to the minister, the administration's goal is to ensure that development reaches all regions and communities, leaving no one on the sidelines.
All Guyanese should be listening very carefully and paying attention to the president's vision and in understanding how they can position themselves for the opportunities that will be created.
Rodriguez highlighted that Guyana's recent economic success provides a strong foundation for this people-centered approach. She said the president's plans build on years of broad-based growth, ensuring that prosperity is not concentrated in a few sectors, but shared across society. She further emphasized that inclusivity also means equity, creating opportunities for women, vulnerable groups, and those living in rural, hinterland, and riverine communities to find purpose and participation in the national economy.
Our objective is very simple: to ensure that prosperity reaches every single Guyanese, regardless of your geography, your background, your ethnicity, your religion, or your political affiliation. Tourism, trade, manufacturing, and investment are not isolated. They're all interconnected.
The minister described the president's address as a rare demonstration of transparency, saying that it gives Guyanese the information they need to plan for their futures and take ownership of the country's development path. Rodriguez concluded by calling on Guyanese to see national development as a collective responsibility, reminding citizens that inclusive growth depends not only on government action, but on the active participation of people across the sectors and regions. As Guyana moves into its next chapter as transformation, she said the administration remains committed to ensuring that development is not just rapid, but fair, equitable, and people-driven. Adana Dor, Guyana TV9 News. Every December, the world pauses. Streets glow with lights, carols fill the air, and families come together in celebration. But beneath the color and festivity lies a story far older and far deeper than modern tradition. More in this report. Christmas finds its roots in the birth of Jesus Christ born in Bethlehem over 2,000 years ago. Christians believe this moment marked God's entering human history in the most humble way possible, not through power or wealth, but through a child laid in a manger. What began as a quiet night became a message that spread across nations and generations. As the nation celebrates Christmas, Bishop Juan Etchiel of the Winners Cathedral Charismatic Pentecostal Ministry in the city reminds believers that Christmas is not simply another date on the calendar. It is the foundation of Christian faith itself.
The celebration of Christmas for us is more than the black cake. It's more than the ginger beer. It's more than the parties. I've just had a piece of black cake. And I encourage everybody who wants to eat a piece of black cake to do so too. But it is about hope for mankind.
The symbol of Christmas tells a sacred story. The manger speaks of humility. The star represents divine guidance. The gift of the wise men remind believers of worship and sacrifice. At its heart, Christmas is about love freely given and hope offered to a world in need. In Guyana, Christmas holds a special place where faith, family, and community meet. Black cake is shared, ginger beer is poured, and homes are filled with laughter. Yet, the bishop cautions that while culture adds color, faith gives Christmas its meaning.
Don't ever let the true message and meaning of Christmas be lost because of commercialism, festivities, or secularism. The pure message of the Christ child being born, the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of the world, must never be lost. And Christmas signals the remembrance of God sending his only Son into the world, sinless, spotless, and pure, to save all sinners so they could have a relationship with God.
What is your message to all the Guyanese for this Christmas season?
Embrace your faith. Christmas is a time to worship. It's a time to bring the family together in thanksgiving, remembering what the Lord has done.
Churches across the country open their doors, calling worshipers to sing, to pray, and to remember for Christmas. Christmas marks the beginning of a journey that leads from a manger to a cross and ultimately to redemption. Pastor Ewan Isaacs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church says Christmas is an opportunity to pause, reflect, and reconnect with those who may have been forgotten throughout the year.
During this Christmas time, it's important that we take time to check on persons who we have not interacted with for a long time. You know, family members, they've been through the entire year without properly connecting with each other. It's important to pause for a moment just to reflect, just to see how your year has been. The persons who are there, you reach out to those who you've not heard from in a while. Let persons know that you're here.
As the celebrations unfold, Christmas invites us to look beyond the decorations and remember its true purpose. A reminder that even in the darkest times, a light can enter the world and change it forever. Donna Doric, TV9 News. In tonight's regional news, 4 United Nations human rights experts have condemned the United States' partial naval blockade of the Venezuela as an illegal act of armed aggression, warning that enforcing unilateral sanctions through military forces violates the UN Charter and endangers human rights across the region. In a joint statement, the experts criticized Washington's deployment of mere naval forces in the Caribbean and its interception of oil tankers, stressing that a blockade constitutes a prohibited use of force and is explicitly defined as illegal aggression under the UN General Assembly's 1974 definition of aggression. They cautioned that ongoing threats and use of force at sea and on land gravely threaten the rights to life in Venezuela, as the U.S. President Donald Trump accuses Caracas of using oil revenues to fund narcoterrorism and other crimes, claims Venezuela strongly denies, saying the U.S. is seeking to overthrow President Nicolas Maduro to gain control of the country's vast oil reserves. Since September, U.S. forces have carried out dozens of airstrikes on vessels alleged to be transporting drugs, actions that have reportedly killed more than 100 people, despite Washington not publicly providing evidence to support its accusations. And internationally, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of attempting to evade international sanctions by using fictitious legal structures and temporary owners to shield its energy companies. Following a briefing from Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service Chief, Ole Ivashchenko. In a social media statement, Zelensky said Ukraine is closely tracking these efforts and will work with international partners to ensure sanctions continue to restrict Russia's ability to finance its war. He also revealed new intelligence on Russia's military activities, including the deployment of Oreshnik intermediate range missile system in Belarus and expanded weapons production, alongside alleged cooperation with foreign entities. Zelensky further raised concern over growing ties between Russia and Chinese linked organizations, claiming there is a troubling correlation between Chinese satellite imagery of Ukrainian territory and subsequent Russian strikes on energy infrastructure actions. He said, risk prolonging the war and undermining diplomatic efforts. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GOY TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Adana Dorek. Happy holidays. Good night.